I'm Saral this side. So I'm just starting out with another, programs that I have been developing for you guys is about, about a ribbon client. So we have heard about a lot of ribbon client that Netflix have come up. So basically, I'm using this Lucid Chart tool. So it's just about preparing a document so you can use and try. So the application that I was, planning to show you guys is about just a minute. Let me restructure this. Yeah. Okay. So let me restructure this for you guys. Because what I was planning to show you is something about like this. Uh, okay, and then let me present it in this way to you guys. I think now is it visible? Yeah. So sorry for being being a bit late in this. So what I'm trying to show is you that I have created one REST client. I have been creating a bean of manually configuring a REST client. It means the REST template, in other words. And there will be one of my application, okay, which will be configuring your Netflix ribbon client. Okay, so there is an application in which you will see a lot of annotations with specific to ribbon client. And apart from this, there are three. This is itself in a Spring Boot applications. Okay, and apart from this, there are three different. There is only a one Spring Boot application which I will be running upon three multiple instances. For example, which I have shown you that 8081, 8082, and 8083. So what I have done is that I have prepared one Spring Boot application. So that is basically I've given it a name called Chat Book. I'm sorry, configured a different name here. So basically, these are the chat book applications. These are the Spring Boot applications, and within these Spring Boot applications, what is happening is that these applications, they may be running up on different ports. So I will be bringing up first of my application. Okay, so these are independent three services, you can say, and one of them I will be running up in 8081, 8082, and one of them in 8083. So what is happening is that if I forget this piece, the load ribbon load balancer, so if I hit the request through Postman on these independent Spring Boot application services, web services, so they may be bringing up their result. So that is what I will be showing you guys. And after that, I will be creating one of the independent application. Okay, so which will be, in which I will be configured my ribbon client. I will be configured my load balancer so that the request is load balancer, and within that I will create a REST template bean, and I will be hitting it up. I will be hitting this application, and this application internally will be routing the request based on the whichever load balancing algorithm, maybe round robin or maybe session one algorithm it may be picking up. But then basis on that, it will be sending the request alternatively to one instance or to 2 and 3, and it will be going on deciding it. But then I will not be directly invoking these applications. I will be invoking only this application, and internally within a YAML file, all three instances of this application is being notified to this application, and this application will be running on all together on a different port. So this is the objective or application. So let's go back to our application. And before going it, I have told you that this is a Lucid chart where I have designed this a bit of diagram using some tools. So yeah, you can use this chart. You have to just create an account, and there are features which will be available for free of use at least for 31 days. So you can go and use the in this tool to express your things. And guys, before starting this applications, once again, let me introduce myself. I am Sunil Saxena. I'm working as a technology lead within Pfizer. So if you have any queries, you can go and you can reach out to me on one of my email ID, and you can send me the request on LinkedIn. Apart from this, I am publishing a lot of articles on LinkedIn with context to Java, so they can add your knowledge to you about whatever the things that are being asked in interviews. Apart from this, I am regularly posting up one or other things about AI or something which I see. For example, right now I was going through predicate functions and all those. So these things may be a bit of helpful for you in understanding you. Okay. So today I'm showing you the applications from the beginning. So let me go back to first of my chatbook application. So this is my chatbook application, and let me expand it to you guys. Let me close this application. So this is my chatbook application. This is just a normal Spring Boot application, and since REST controller for web services, here is a request that is coming to this chatbook application. Here I specified the port because in logs I am printing the port for you guys, okay, so that you can see on the console the request is going to which port. And apart from this, this is my normal application property where I will be starting up this application on 8081, okay. And these are test classes, Maven dependencies, you already know, because what I want to show you is about the POM XML structure, sorry, the POM XML structure that I want to show you, because that is something the very main I wanted to show you key, whatever the dependencies that I have taken up in this pom.xml. So this is my application name, chatbook, and I have gone through the Spring Boot starter parent dependencies, the normal, the starter web, and the starter test. So the reason to and Spring Boot plugin for configuring this. So this is just I wanted to show you because you may be using Spring Boot CLI and all those applications at your end. So let me start this application. So I have to go, sorry, I have to go to this one, and this is my main class. So let me start off my this application first, and let me look up into the logs of it. Okay. So here it is starting. This is a Spring Boot application. So Spring Boot logo is already there, and within logs, guys, we can see that my application has been started out. Okay. So as you can see that it is started out on port 8081. Okay. Let me start out another instance of it by changing the port, and let me start out the another instance of this. So this is another instance of on a different port of the same application will be started out. Okay, so here I can see that it started on port 8082, and let me start it out one more instance of it by changing the port number, okay, of the same application I will be starting out. So this is how I'm starting out the third instance of this application itself. So guys, you can see this is my third instance of this application which has been started out. So I have three applications with me. First is started on 8081 port, another is started on 80802 port, and another in 8083 port. So why guys we can do is that we can use Postman. Postman is basically a tool, and this is just a normal client-based tool which is being used these days. Mostly you can go for any other tool itself also, it's not a mandatory, because we know we can just put up our request to see. Okay, since it's a get request, so we'll be using get. Okay, and here we can see key our application is being started or not. So if I go in the reverse order, let me bring it up. Okay, so here I can see, just let me see that application is started on 8083 port. Let me check for 8082 port also, okay, it is started or not. So yeah, it is started on 8082 port, and let me see for 8081 port. So it is also started on 808 port. So now what is that ki our application is working perfectly. Here we see that initialization started. So now the objective is that ki since our application has been started, so that's what I was reflecting you. Ki our these three applications have been started independently, which we have tested it through Postman, but by hitting them independent request. Now the main part of this application is that to prepare ribbon load client load balancer, okay, which at a very runtime on it round robin scheduling algorithm will be forwarding and cascading the request to these three dynamically. So for this, what I have done is that key I have come up with the one application, okay, and so let me go to that application now onwards. So I have closed this. So this is itself is in another application, okay, and for this I have to design an application YAML also. So I let me begin with this YAML file in this application. So to be very specific here, what I have seen while I'm configuring this application, so I have notified them that my application which is being running parallelly, its name is a chatbook. Okay, so this is my application name, chatbook here, that I have configured. I have configured ribbon client configurations, and I have specified the list of services, the application that is being running, which I have shown you the three independent applications that is being running, which I have configured. Here I have told them that server, it should make up a refresh of date. It should look up after the seconds. This is my current application, which may be running on port. Obviously, it will be running on the port, sorry, 9090. And this is my main application. So as I told you, okay, this is itself is a Spring Boot application. Just I need to have put up a ribbon client, a Netflix configuration where it is will be asking me the name of the application and the configuration. So the name of the application is chatbook, which we have configured here itself, which is the name of the application to which it is going to do the load balancing. Okay, and apart from this, it is asking me the ribbon configuration class. Yeah, so let's go to the ribbon configuration class. So we have to also add a ribbon configuration class. This is the same configuration class that I've added in the case of, yeah, for the ribbon configuration load balancing we have to do, not in the case of Eureka. So let's go for the ribbon configuration class where I have specified the ribbon client, the dependencies. So let's look into this of iClient configuration. I have a decompiler at my end. So this is something which even I haven't explored right now, but it's something about an interface, and it has got load properties and configurations and integers and all those builder classes. Builder pattern is already there. So I haven't explored this, but I will be coming up in my the recent upcoming videos and tutorials where I will be configuring this. But what I know exactly right now is this much configurations that we have to do if we are using the ribbon client configuration. And once upon we have done this configuration, so let me wrap up this. Yeah, so I have created a REST template. Actually, what I have done is that for the REST template, which I was telling you earlier also, okay, I have to manually create a bean of REST template so that I can use further in calling up these. And I use load balance annotation. Again, this is the load balancer annotation, which will be, doing a bit of load balancing. So here, for this application, the get mapping is that invoke, and right now the best thing that you will learn is that you have called it through the chatbook application. Chatbook means the application that we have configured. You haven't gone to write, if you wanted to explore any of the application chat, that otherwise you have to write the whole http localhost 8081. But what you have done is that you have just prefixed the chatbook, and the chatbook call is already mapped to this application of the chatbook, which the YAML have taken up this. So this is something that I wanted to show you. This gives you an advantage. This shows you that all the application instances that were running separately is been mapped to this and this, which you have been using in the REST template. So guys, let me bring up this application run as let me bring up this application too. Just a minute. This application I am configuring. Okay, so let me see this application to be up, and so as you can see, this is itself is a separate application which is being up. Let me check it up. Yeah, it is being shown that it has started this application. Just a minute. So this live reload server is running, and RMX registration is being happening, been with the refresh scope has been there, and local management, and this application is being started on 9090 port. So this application, which is itself is a Spring application, is had started on port 9090. So great to hear this. And let me now show you the, so now see, sorry, my this meant there are total four applications. Chatbook application is already in there, which was a separate application, and this is my one of the user application. So let me bring out my Postman and let me now invoke this one. Okay, so here it will, as I told you in my that diagram, now this load balancer. Okay, so let me present this, sorry to you guys. Okay, so as sorry, let me show you, because I think yeah, this takes a lot of time, so I'm sorry for being keeping you busy. So now this through REST template, this through this application, now the load balancing will be done to any of these applications. So let's see this thing. So let me invoke this first. And when I invoke this application, you can see that logging is also being happening it out. So it goes first request to port 80801, and when I invoke it, it invoke 802 8083. Okay, So it just you can see that at a runtime it is doing a perfect load balancing. So this is just how our the ribbon client load configuration is being happening at a dynamic time. It is being sending the request to one of the servers, and if let me expand it into the console, so yeah, it has been showing that Netflix chain configuration flipping property to use for next resources available. Okay, so the active connections that it is being having out to which services max response time and all those things it has been handling over to you. uh, so that's it. I wanted to show you that how we can, at a runtime, how we can achieve the same thing of, uh, sending the request and all those things. The load balancing is happening with altogether ribbon client load balancer. So, anyways, guys, have you got any query? You can ask me, you can provide me your comments below itself. And as I told you earlier, also, I am available on LinkedIn for any of your queries, suggestions. Send me the request, and I may be giving answers to your queries. And all together, very best of luck. And I may be coming up with a lot of interview stuff that will be helping out to crack your interviews. So thank you guys. Thanks all time. Thanks.